want y'all to come see the museum. How many of y'all know about the museum? Every time we talk about museum opening, I mean, the people in the museum just get frantic because it's supposed to be operational by May 1st. The opening day for the public is going to be Memorial Day. We're going to have about 4 weeks full of run-throughs, and charter members are going to be able to come see it. It's going to be amazing. I mean, we're going to tell you the real history of the world. We're going to talk about dinosaurs and dating methods, and we're going to have the dig site, and we're going to talk about how all this relates to the real world. We're going to teach the science, but it's going to be something to see. And with that, we'll conclude. Yeah. You want the songs?
Yeah. Anybody have any questions on the Jurassic Park? No questions?
Yeah.
Well, I've got 2 questions.
Okay.
One, there are some fossils, now I'm not saying evolution is true, but some fossils do have feathers on them of some dinosaurs. For example, Microraptor.
You have to prove that to me.
Well, I mean, like, in the fossil, it shows feather imprints. And I'm not sure if that's a bird or if it's a dinosaur.
There are no fossils that have been shown to have, dinosaur fossils have been shown to have feathers. There are some that have structures you can't necessarily explain, but the thing is, the ornithologists and stuff that I've talked to and the people that are supposed to be the bird experts have pretty much, discounted those as transitional forms. They've said that most of those are fully bird. Yes, sir.
Those shadowy imprints he's talking about have been determined to be collagen fibers
Okay.
that are commonly found in the skin of reptiles.
Like I said, I wasn't sure about the specific one. I'm just saying that the ones that they have shown, like the Archaeopteryx and some of those things that have been considered to be feathered dinosaurs, have been, at least to my knowledge, all pretty much discounted by the ornithologists.
And my second question was, I think that maybe a few dinosaurs, not all of them, but a few, may have acted something like a bird in some ways. Maybe their feeding habits were like a bird. Maybe their nesting colonies were like a bird.
But how would you know that?
Well,
I mean, what I'm getting at is what's the evidence of that? Because the thing is, if you've got a fossil, unless they're sitting in a nest, you have to presume those things. You know about their feeding habits, their nesting habits. How do you, what's the evidence that you use to support a conclusion like that?
The only evidence I have is just of a Myosaur nesting ground that was in Montana. It said that there were adults and youngsters that were found in the same area.
He's always on the computer.
I think that's good. I encourage people to answer questions, but the thing is you've got to sort of think critically, because we know that dinosaurs laid eggs, and the eggs hatched, because birds lay eggs. But the thing is, when those young dinosaurs hatched and they walked around and they were found with their parents, if they're covered in some cataclysmic event, all that proves is they hatched from eggs or they were with their parents. So that wouldn't necessarily prove a nesting or bird-like behavior. Yes, sir.
This is a comment on that. We know that snakes lay eggs, but we also know that some have live birds.
I'm sorry.
Just comparing to dinosaurs, we know that some snakes lay eggs,
Right.
and yet we also know that other snakes do not. They have live birds.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Up until 100 years ago, they found these fossilized eggs. They presumed that they laid eggs, but they didn't know. But at least all I can say is that once they found fossilized, like T-Rexes and stuff on the inside, did lay eggs. And I think that's good scientific thought. If you actually find the fossilized creature inside the egg, that probably is where it came from.
Right, but you can't necessarily conclude that all dinosaurs.
No, I'm just saying that that's the presumption right now, based on the fact that we found multiple kinds of fossilized dinosaur eggs and the fossilized dinosaur in them. There'd be no way to prove. I guess if you found one that did, you could say that particular variety came from egg laying. But unless you were there to see it, you can't be dogmatic. And that's why I'm saying you need to think critically about these things.
They had a article in the Rocky Mountain News a few months ago about dinosaur myths. And they told all these things that they knew about dinosaurs. They dragged their tails, they only walked, they were individual, then they were groups, they were cold-blooded, now they're not. But all these things they found that were wrong. They called them myths.
Mm-hmm.
They don't call them lies. They call them myths. But what they said was this was true, now it isn't true.
Well, but the thing is, it's like with all scientific inquiries, even like, creationist models, if you will. I mean, we examine, we reevaluate, and if we find out that our models are untenable, then we shift and we change. The scientific paradigm that says, let's just say that in the 1800s somebody said that dinosaurs, T-Rexes, were live birth, and then you find that they came from eggs. The fact that this person would promote the T-Rex giving birth to a live young wouldn't be a lie. It would just be his hypothesis that
the way it was presented is first they drag your tails. First they can't go this fast. First they're cold-blooded. And then they found out it was wrong. They never said, we said this back then, we found out it was wrong.
Well, I don't think you're going to find a mea culpa. That's not going to happen. But the thing is, I don't know that I would necessarily categorize that as a lie. I mean, I would just say that that's the predominant paradigm of the age or whatever, and then they find information and they change it. It's like with all scientific thought. If you get more information, you revise your models, for example. Now, whether I wouldn't go as far as call it a lie, because I don't think these people are most of them are not being willfully deceitful. I mean, I think they genuinely believe what they're saying. I can't speak for, I don't know their hearts, but I think the majority of these people, I think they have an incorrect worldview. I think their conclusions are wrong based on the evolutionary thought that drives them. I don't think they're being deliberately deceitful. I think they're just being consistent with their worldview. I think they're wrong. But saying lie would imply that they're being deliberately deceitful, and I have trouble with that. Yes, ma'am.
What kind of credence do they give to the sightings of Nessie and other floating things like the one in Michigan?
If you pull that thing out with a net and show it to me, I'll believe it. Yeah, but that's a personal. I have no problem. If you told me that there was a T-Rex in the Congo, I would personally have no problem with that. But for me to say I believe you got to show it to me. I mean, there's no reason to think there couldn't be. There's no reason to think there couldn't be something in Loch Ness, but until you pull it out and show it to me, all I've seen is some fuzzy stuff on a piece of film. Yes, sir.
I had a classmate in ICR that is an eyewitness to Nessie. She was there, Nessie climbed out of the water and got me and went back in the lake.
She grabbed a Dodge truck or threw her around. She jumped out of that truck.
Yeah. And like I said, I'll personally believe that when you show me a videotape or you show me the creature. I haven't watched TV in years. I don't have time. But I mean, I wouldn't just, if this person believes he's out, but to convince, it's like the Ark sightings. Show me the boat. But I mean, until I actually see it with my own eye. And I have no problem believing that it can be there, but until I actually see it crystal clear, here it is, then I'm skeptical. That's a personal opinion. It's not an AIG opinion, by the way. Don't call Ken and ask him what AIG thinks, because we don't have an opinion about that. Okay.